Hey friends, Richard here from TheFirstLayer. I don't normally do really quick breaking news stories like this, but I've got to tell you, today they dropped Simplify3d version 5. Why is this significant? Well, for those of us who have had Simplify3d for many years like myself, I've had it since 2016. They've tried to, if I can put it in simpler terms, they've tried to update it, but they haven't done anything since they announced that Simplify3d 5 was going to be coming out. And that was almost 3 years ago now, if not a little bit more. Now, that being said, back then they said they were going to be charging existing customers for the upgrade. Now, why is that significant? Well, back when I bought it, it was $150 US, so it was almost $200 Canadian by the time you finished purchasing it. At the time, it was the best software that you could purchase online and get a great deal. Now, not so much. Let me explain why. I've got here on my tablet what the upgrades are to a software that I think has been exceeded by other softwares that are out there. First and foremost, I'm sorry about the background noise. I'm doing this very quickly today, but here are some of the things. I think that we've got other software, Matter Control, we've got the Raise 3D software, Idea Maker, we've got Cura, we've got Prusa Slicer. All of these free alternatives to Simplify3d, I think have far exceeded what Simplify3d has announced today in 5.0. And the first one I'm going to talk about is adaptive layer height. Now it says the software dramatically optimizes the layer height based on model type topology for the perfect balance of quality and speed. Well, we've had adaptive layer height in Cura now for almost a year, if not a little bit more. And adaptive layer height is nothing new. It's also available in Prusa Slicer. It's also available there as well. So I don't think that at the end of the day, it's a leap forward for them. Secondary, they've got 3D infill patterns, add increased lateral strength using new 3D infill patterns that morph throughout the print, creating strong internal structures. Well, we already know that Prusa Slicer has updated their infills recently, and Cura has always been at the forefront of their infill since they've made the big changes that they did when they got into 4.0 and beyond. And now at 5.2.0 or 0.1, their latest release, they've got even more. In their new software, they're talking about automated seam hiding. This will reduce surface defects by automatically adjusting the start points of each layer so that the seam's hidden from view. Well, you can already do that in other software. It's nothing new. Where it is in other softwares, you're going to have to look for it. And I know that it's in Cura because you can hide the seams in Cura. I prefer to see my seam, that way I can knock it off really quickly. Dramatic infill density is another one that they are talking about. Dramatically increase the infill density near the top of the part to improve top surface and reduce material usage. You've been able to do that in Prusa Slicer, you've been able to do that in Cura for quite some time now. So just those four, and those are their four top ones at the very top of the page when you look at it. I got to tell you that, is this a leap forward for them? No, I think what they've done is they've just gone out and saw what other people were doing and added it into their software. To me, that's a little too little, a little too late. Now, on to a couple of other things. They're saying they have Wi-Fi and Ethernet connectivity. Well, you can already get that in other software. Support structures. I will say this, their older software had some of the best support structures out there. But again, we are looking at other software such as Cura, and I know I'm using Cura as an example because it is the most popular free slicer out there. that already has a way to do this, and you can adjust your supports in Cura as well. It's a little more muddled, but it can be done. Detailed previews, well, we can also do that. 3D printer controls, is that necessary? Well, we can orbit around our parts all we want in all kinds of other software. You can do targeted build customizations. What they're saying is short perimeters, so if you're putting in some indented lettering, something along that line, holes that are kind of off center, flow rate control, which you can already do, and small feature reinforcement. That is something that, again, can be accomplished if you know what you're doing with your slicer. Seamless CAD integration, well, you can already do that. Automatic mesh repair, we already know that you can do that in Cura, and also in matter control, which I've already done. And you can do it in Prusa Slicer as well. Is it going to give you any more performance? I don't think so. Now, the one thing that they do say here is unmatched hardware support. Now, what does that mean? It just means that they've got hardware profiles built into the software. I've always found it clunky to download what I wanted from that software, depending on the machine. And not all machines are in there. I mean, machines come out by the handful every year, and a variety of new manufacturers and so on and so forth. A lot of the time you've had to build your own customs based on the hardware that you have. Now, if you're using something like a Creality or a Prusa or a FlashForge or some of the most popular 3D printers out there, yeah, they're available in Simplify3d, but they're also available in lots of other software that's not going to cost you any money. Now, if you don't take advantage of their upgrade from 4.0, which if you've already got it, you've got 4.0 and the upgrades that have all come with it, you're going to have to pay $59 as of today, but that price will be going up to $69 US. So if you're a Canadian like me, you're going to be paying close to $100 for this upgrade. Is that kind of money worth it to me? No. To me, it's not, when I've got already slicers that are doing the job that I need them to do, and I don't need any more confusion with anything that may be a little bit tougher to use. If you're buying this software for the first time, if you're new and you're thinking, wow, I need the best software out there, at one time I would have said this was the way to go. And some of you that have been with me since the beginning of the show, or since we started this channel, will know that this is something that I've done a lot of. And I touted this software for the longest time, but as Cura got much better and simpler to use for the beginner, I don't believe the $199 price tag for Simplify3d 5 is worth the money. You can find free options out there that are going to do just what you want them to do. They're going to be easier to learn, and they're supported by tons of creators like myself that have done different videos on how to use the software. And I'll be making a new video on the latest version of Cura coming up here in the next month or so. So be watching for that. But at the end of the day, Simplify3d, as far as I'm concerned, they waited too long to roll these updates out. They waited too long, and I think it's going to really hit their customer base hard, because a lot of people have moved on to other software. So that's kind of my thoughts on the breaking news of Simplify3d 5 now being released. And if you want to go check it out, I'll leave a link down in the description below. If you choose to get it, all the power to you. I'm going to stick with my free options for now, because they do exactly what I need them to do. So until I see you next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. Till next time.